Hi everyone, this is Whitney with my week 6 discussion forum post answering the prompt. Discuss how the 1920s may have been the first truly modern decade and how our current 2020s compare with those years. I could definitely see why they'd call it the first modern decade, and the first thing that comes to mind is consumer culture and people buying things. It became uh, like it exploded with people buying cars and all the modern electronics and appliances and really everything that weren't accessible to everyone before. A big part of this is that people were buying on credit, and it kind of was the beginning of building the culture around almost overconsumption um, and convenience, which feels very familiar. Um, and then technology was also a big part of it. Cars obviously completely changed how people lived and got from place to place. And um, sorry, my kids are arguing in the background. All right. And the radio was new and cool, and it was a way for people across the country to be listening to and experiencing the same things at the same time, and also a whole new game for entertainment, especially in people's homes. um, I think it kind of helped to create a culture that went beyond just the area you lived in, and that combined with the accessibility to vehicles that didn't exist before, the accessibility to travel, I should say, that didn't exist before, really helped to expand people's understanding and knowledge on America, not just their region. um and then also the 1920s had a major shift in culture. Like, women gained the right to vote, and um, the new women, or the new woman, the flappers, and challenging the traditional gender roles and cutting their hair short. I can't talk. Their hair short and wearing short skirts and dressing and acting in a way that was before then not considered acceptable, and really just challenging and questioning the social norms. That obviously is very parallel with today in a lot of ways, especially with um, all the ongoing conversations about gender and identity and equality and all of those things. Um, and then at the same time, through the 1920s, there was a lot of tension and backlash between immigration and racial violence, and um, just, all the different activist movements. And I think that we can all see how that is relevant today as well. We may be way more advanced in a lot of ways, but we are still very kind of jaded in our social and political practices. And I think also oh, am I still recording? Yeah, sorry. Economically, I think they have very similar feelings as well. The 1920s, there was like the rapid growth um, in the economy, and the stock market investing became a big thing. And um, I think that people just had this feeling that what they had, they would have forever, and that they could continue to get more. And I think a lot of that is due to credit. If anyone was ever young and got their first credit card and they felt like they just had all the money in the world, I feel like that's what they were doing then. And now in the 2020s, there's always more tech growth, always. And then I think of like cryptocurrency, and just all the new forms of like digital stuff that we have, like Venmo and all those things. Um, but just like with the 1920s, they ended with a Great Depression, and we see our economy suffer because of these things quite often. Yeah, so that's all the ways that I could see them being very similar, and I'd say that the 1920s does seem kind of like the first modern decade. Thank you guys. I hope you have a good week.